Dear students, hello. This is the only 2021 Photoshop video course. We will introduce the version of PS software for you, the interface of PS and the operation of how to open and save pictures in PS. Okay, now this icon that you see on your desktop, that's Photoshop 2021. Let's double click on it. Now you can see the welcome screen of the software. And then we go to this place, click open, and we find the image material that we have prepared in the folder on our computer. Click to select, and then to open. Well, this is the interface for our PS 2021. At this point, some students may ask, "There's other versions of the software. Can I also learn this course?" Or say, "I do not have PS software, can be used. What should I do?" As for the software and software version, I think the CC series from CC 2015 to CC 2021 are good. The same series of interface is basically the same. If your computer configuration is better, for example, you are a Win 10 system. If the computer's version configuration is old, then you can also choose an earlier CC version such as CC 2015 or CC 2018. It wouldn't have many adverse effects. PS software is updated every year, mainly for some optimization of the original function to make it better and more beautiful. Occasionally, add a few gadgets and so on, but in essence, it hasn't really changed that much. You see, we usually use this software every 1 or 2 months to update, but actually the difference will not be very big. Now, let's introduce you to the operating interface of the software. First of all, in the middle of this part is our workspace. The image we're going to work with is right here. Then, we look at the top left corner. Here is our menu bar. All the time, we have to move the mouse over the menu bar. Click it, and then you can pop up the drop-down box, and the main functions of PS are distributed here. And very importantly, the toolbar on our left. Usually, we mainly use a tool and then manipulate the pictures. This is very important. We select a tool with the left mouse button and see a row at the bottom of the menu bar. It's called the options bar, and you can set up the tool that we just selected. Then right-click on the tool to open its fold-out box, where we can see select other tools of the same type. Okay, then we're going to look to the right, and on the right are some of our little windows. We'll talk about how these little windows work in order at the end of the course, but we're not going to cover much here. Then, for these windows, we need to learn 3 main aspects of operation. First, adjustment these windows. We move the mouse to the edge of the window. When it becomes a double row, we can hold down the left mouse button and drag. Changing the size of the window is basically the same as resizing the folder. Then the windows are folded together. We can just click on the top of the window to switch the windows. If we hold down the page header of this window and drag, we can change the position of the window, and we can click on the window's header to drag it back. You then see when the blue border appears. Let's go. Okay, so we can drag this window into its neat position. Well, the second point is the explicit or implicit window. We click and drop down in the window menu. We can see the names of a lot of windows, so most of these windows are not showing right now. Only the checked ones show up in your window, like we are checking actions now. Okay, over here we have an action window. We can drag it. Then, with another click, we take the tick out of it. Action window disappeared. This is the second point, window explicit implicit. Then the third point is the window reset. If we now mess up the window, like drag one out and then click X to delete it, and drag this one out, such as chaotic window, how do I restore it to the default situation? Just go to the window menu and then under the workspace here, click Reset Basic. The window reverts back to its original default form. Well, we can enjoy this beautiful picture quietly now. We hold down the Alt key on the keyboard, then slide the mouse and the scroll wheel zooms on our view. Zoom in to get a better view. Zoom in. Now let's look at this grass. When we zoom in on it to a certain extent, we will find that the picture became little squares of different colors, as if the picture was made up of little squares of different colors. This little square is called a pixel. So, if we look at this picture, how many pixels are there horizontally and vertically? We can see the image size here on the menu. Look at here. Now, the width of the horizontal is 500 pixels and the height is 800 pixels. So we can describe the size of this image as 500, 800. There are some certain sizes and we often abbreviate them. For example, 4K, 2K, 1080p, 720p. You can take a screenshot if you need. The more pixels a picture has, the bigger it is, and larger in size, which is why a lot of high-resolution images, which you download very slowly, are bigger. It also takes up a lot of memory in computers and mobile phones. In addition, there's also the physical size and resolution of an image, which we also need to pay due attention to. What is the physical size of a picture? The pixel we are talking about is the size of the image on the display. So, if we are going to print the image to paper or something, and the unit of length and width is centimeters, and then we open the image size dialog. We can click on this unit, but what should we select? Choosing centimeters or inches or millimeters are the physical units. Let's say, for example, that we choose centimeters. And now, in this picture, the width is 1764 centimeters. Height is 31.33 centimeters, which is its physical size. So, what does resolution mean? Resolution refers to the number of pixels per unit of physical length, which is the density of the pixel, which is calculated simply pixels. The number divided by its physical length, the physical size of it, because most of the time we don't print a picture, we just broadcast it on an electronic device. So, to simplify it, we can set this resolution all the way to 72, which is a more modest, more universal resolution. After talking about the size and resolution of the image, we can show you how to create a new image. So, let's click on the menu bar File, and then hit New shortcut, Ctrl+N. After click, you will see the dialog box for our new file, and then there are a lot of sizes and resolutions that have been set up, and as we can see, they are all basically 72. It can also look like the resolution of a photograph, as well as some resolutions of printed paper, such as A4 paper, A6 paper, etc. And some resolutions, like those we use on electronic devices, for example, the 1920x1080 is 1080 pixels resolution. And once we selected one of the presets, we can put it on the right side. you can change their pixel size further, so I'm not going to change it here. Then we can also choose whether the picture is horizontal or vertical. We now choose horizontal, and then the sketchpad gives it away. We don't use the sketchpad. Then we click create. Alright, we have created a horizontal 1080 pixels image. We're talking about a new image. So, how do we open an existing image? Still in the File menu, click. Then open the shortcut key Ctrl+O. We clicked into the Open dialog box, and then we were able to choose from this folder. Then find the picture we want to open. You can choose one. You can choose more than one. Hold down the Ctrl to select more than one. Click to open. So we have turned on these pictures. What happens if we drag the image directly into the file we are working on? For example, we drag the image to the work area. We will see that this image is added directly to the image we just had, and we can put it on the border. Adjust its size and then press the Enter key on the picture of the system and adjust the size. We will explain in detail later. Here, do not explore, but to introduce a way to open the picture. Save it, okay? We will mainly talk about 3 ways to save it. First, we click on the menu bar File, and then click down to save it. The shortcut key is Shift plus Ctrl plus S. After we click, we go to the Save as dialog box. We're going to save it as a PSD format. We can check the save type. It's the Photoshop PSD format by default. We are here to make sure it gets its name, and I'm gonna change its name like 111. We double check the saved folder. Where we are now. Just save it on the desktop and then we click Save. Click OK. Let's take a look. Here is a PSD file we just saved. The PSD file is a Photoshop draft and check pattern. This is to say, we do all kinds of operations on the document. All kinds of materials are kept in this draft. We can change this draft at any time. So, in our normal operation, we want to save the current progress for it. That is, we have done some more operations. Let's first save the current progress to this PSD file. What should we do? For example, I just moved it. OK. Then we click on the menu bar File. Save it. This shortcut is Ctrl plus S, which saves our progress to this PSD file. So what we just talked about is the storage of drafts, the storage of progress. We have done the picture, how to save the output of the picture we want to use it. Let's talk about the third storage method. In the menu bar File and then Export stored as the web format here, its shortcut key is Alt plus Shift plus Ctrl plus S. We click on the Save as External Formal dialog box. Here we need to pay attention to the 3 main parts. First it's here, to choose our image format. The first thing we want to talk about is the JPG format, also known as GPG format. It is our most common image format. We basically output image are saved to GPG format. It is our most common image format. We basically output images are saved to GPG format. Talk about the quality. In general, we drag the slider to the far right. The maximum of 100% quality on it. Sometimes you upload files when the other side requires the document size not be too large. You can be appropriate to reduce a little bit of quality. And then the size of the saved file gets smaller, and finally the bottom part where we can go from here to make the final changes to the size of our image. For example, let's change it to 2000. Okay, then we will hit save and we will go to the location of our choice, like the desktop. Select the name, set it to 111, then click to save. So the image we just saved on the desktop is called 11. Let's move on. We hit the shortcut key Shift plus Control plus Alt plus S to go directly to the dialog stored as an external format. Let's look at another image format. So what's the difference between a PNG file and a JPG file? The PNG file is mainly used to store irregular shapes. Let me give you an example. Now, we have a star logo on the desktop. We drag it to a small window. Here, let go, open this picture, and we will see that this image is a good cutout. In other words, it has no background. It's a good material. Let's add a background color to it, so that every time we use this material, it will be very convenient. And we'll see that this image is a good cutout. We are shutting it down now. Well, there is also an image format called GIF format, which is a dynamic image. Some of the emojis you see all the time often can see this kind of dynamic diagram on the net. About the dynamic diagram making actually is complex. We will have the special course in the later practice lesson to explain how to make the dynamic diagram. Here we will skip ahead, and later we will show you how to make motion pictures. Okay, that's all for today. I've mainly introduced you to the Photoshop page. Thanks for watching. See you next time.